Hi, everybody. Hey, good to see you all. Thanks for stopping in. I'm Renee, if you've not been here before, and this is Becoming Her Again. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about a couple things. So, I'm trying to do like some quick videos every day, hopefully, so that way I can send out just some encouragement your way. So, I'm calling it today's reminders. So, the reminder for today is I wanted to discuss comparison and how it steals your joy. So, I just was thinking about this myself, and just, as we go through our healing journeys, I just wanted to remind you all that a lot of times, it's easier to look around and see, other people, who are going through their own journeys, right? And compare yourself to them. So, I just wanted to kind of remind you to try your best not to do that because I think it's like very easy for us to look around and see where everybody else is. And, we just naturally assume that they're just doing amazing, right? Because everything from the outside looking in looks really good. So, just a reminder that many times, just because that's what we think that we see, that doesn't always mean that's the case. So, for example, the people that we may be looking at and comparing ourselves to, they may have so many problems going on in their world. And, every day is a struggle for them as well. And not that we hope that for them, of course, but what I mean is that, we are then comparing ourselves to these people, and we just assume that we have fallen short, right? And so I just want to remind you that, by comparing yourself, it really sets you back in so many ways, because I think then you're so focused on what you think that you see from these other people, and you're really not staying focused on yourself. So just a few things like to go over. So, a lot of times you can look at another person and think, oh my goodness, they have the best job on the earth, right? And I really don't understand why I don't have that job, or why I can't get a job like that. Or they're in the best relationship. They have a great marriage, and I work so hard at my marriage, and my marriage isn't great, or they have the family and the house, and the life that just seems to all naturally flow, and it's all just wonderful. So those are just some examples of when we compare ourselves to others. Another thing is just maybe that they've gone through a hard time, and now you're comparing yourself as you're going through a hard time to their healing journey. So again, I just want to remind you to try not to do that. Because a lot of times we're just looking around, and, we're not seeing the full picture. I mean, maybe at night they're still not able to sleep at night because of all the stress on their plates, or maybe they cry themselves to sleep or wake up having bad dreams because of everything that they've gone through. So, comparison just really, I believe, sets us back in so many ways. So, our journeys are not to look like somebody else's journey. So, and I talk about this when I've talked about healing, and I really believe that healing is a process that each of us individually go through, and it may take forever for one of us to go through a healing process. It may never fully be healed. Honestly, the person may never fully be healed. And again, I don't think that we should ever compare ourselves, and I don't think that other people should compare us even to themselves, So that's another way to look at it. But for the sake of this video, I want you to just remember that, your journey is your own journey, and your days, each day that comes, I want you to be so proud of the successes that you've made. And instead of being focused on other people that may be surrounding you in your life, rather than focusing on them, I really believe it's best to stay focused on yourself, because you have so many things that you can be so proud of along the way. And, as your story is unfolding and your journey is taking place and you're still growing and you're still learning this new chapter that you're in, it's a very important thing to just stay very centered on yourself and your own journey, on your emotional well-being and your mental well-being. So instead of asking, yourself, like, why don't I have all these things? Just try to ask yourself, hey, what progress have I made from the beginning to where I am now? And what have I felt like I've accomplished? That's kind of a longer sentence than what I meant it to be. But why don't I have all these things to where it's more like, what is it that I do have, and how can I find my appreciation with that? And then stop and ask yourself what you can write down to be to show that you're grateful for the things that you've accomplished in your progress, because that is just such a huge thing. I mean, your progress has been very substantial. I guarantee you, even if you can only write down one thing, that's one thing more now that you can write down than you could have written down before. Because I'll guarantee you, if you're anything like how I was, there was a point where I wasn't able to even write down one thing. And what I mean by that is I was so preoccupied and so focused on everything else and the world crashing around me that I wasn't able to see any sort of progress, and any sort of thing. So meaning, what was the actual problem? So even if it was one problem, I wasn't able to directly see that at one point in my life. So celebrate your victories as you go through them. Try not to measure yourself against anybody else and what's going on in the world, in their life, because that's a whole nother world. Your world is right here, and this is your world. And write down in your journal, because those are such important things, and give yourself some reminders to look back on and be proud of, and pat yourself on the back. I think it's great. So, you are becoming the woman that you were meant to be, and this is becoming her again. And I hope that I'm able to bring encouragement your way. And as we go through our journey together, we are becoming her again. And every day is a small step towards that. And in the meantime, I want you to show yourself a lot of love and give yourself a lot of grace, because you've been through a lot of things. So keep doing such a great job. You're amazing, and I care about you, and I just want you to know that you are on a healing journey, and this is your own journey. So take care of yourself as you do it, okay? All right, friends, I will see you in the next video. Take care.